Hello and welcome to my channel, Parenting with Nisha. My dear parents, we are starting a new series from today, Parenting the Montessori Way. I hope you will like it. Life with children is not always easy. Along with the warm hugs, cute coos and shrilling cries, we share with them sleepless nights, those hard times when they get sick, their temper tantrums, sibling rivalries and many other challenges of being a parent. As they get older, the same cute children come to know us better than we know ourselves. They learn what buttons to push to make us angry, guilty, and they also manipulate us into giving in to something that they want. There are times when we wish our children came with a parenting manual. It is not unusual for parents to be unsure about how to raise nice kids in this modern world. Parenting advice is given by everybody: grandparents, friendly neighbors, your aunts, your friends, and who not, but much of it doesn't seem to work that well. If you want to raise great children, then incorporating Montessori practices at home is the best shot. You still might ask why. Why do I want to use Montessori practices at home? Why is this important? Montessori home has this atmosphere of love, kindness, and respect for everyone. It also makes daily life for everyone involved a lot more smooth and enjoyable. Children who are raised with Montessori principles typically display responsibility, as well as respect, not just for themselves, but also for their surrounding. They tend to have a greater sense of curiosity, a love for learning, and they deeply engage with their work. They are independent, self-sufficient, and confident. The role they play at home and the family unit is the role they'll play as they mature into adult citizens. They will much more easily be able to identify their place in society and how they can and want to contribute to their community. It's this self-assuredness that will allow your child to easily navigate all of the challenges that they are going to encounter throughout life. So I ask you, what better outcome than this could you want for your child? If any of this sounds overwhelming to you, I want to assure you that raising children in a Montessori home really isn't. There's just a greater emphasis on following the child's lead as they grow and setting them up for independence and success along the way. By now, you might have the basic idea as to why Montessori practices at home is a small step towards good parenting. Although using Montessori practices at home requires learning, trust me when I say, you won't regret it. I will be posting an entire playlist of step-by-step videos that will teach you how to effectively incorporate Montessori ideas into your everyday life at home with your little ones. But before you dive in, it is essential to understand the basics of Montessori. The Montessori method of education, named after its founder, Maria Montessori, is an approach to learning that emphasizes independence and choice. This theory of teaching understands that children have an innate interest to learn and will be able to do so in a suitable environment. Dr. Maria Montessori was born in 1870 in Italy, a country that at that time was especially conservative in its attitude toward women. Despite many obstacles, Maria Montessori was the first Italian woman to become a physician. She went on to teach at the medical school of the University of Rome, and, through its free clinics, came into frequent contact with the children of the poor. Through her work, she became convinced that each and every child is born with an amazing human potential, which can develop only if adults provide children with the right stimulation during the first few years of life. She spent a lot of time using her medical training to closely observe these children, to see exactly what it was that can engage them and help them to learn most effectively. She used these observations to actually create tests, and then design her own educational materials for them. Dr. Montessori noted several different things about the children. The first thing she noted was that the children were much less frustrated with their work when they had tools and furniture that were child size and down at their level. Secondly, she noted that the children responded very positively to an environment that was calm and orderly, where everything had a place. She also noticed that the children had higher levels of self-esteem and confidence when they were taught to do things for themselves. Anxious to prove her point, in 1907, Dr. Montessori ended up opening her first children's house, also called the Casa de Bambini, in the slums of Rome. It was here that she set out to kind of prove her methods, after seeing how successful her first children's house was. Many more then followed her footsteps. Since its inception in the early 1900s, over 20,000 Montessori schools had opened worldwide. Dr. Montessori believed that education begins at birth, and those first few years of life are absolutely crucial to the eventual development of the child. She believed that the goal of early childhood education should not be to fill a child with facts, but to actually cultivate their natural desire to learn. Traditionally in a classroom, it is a very top-down, teacher-led approach where the teacher is standing in front of the class. They are teaching everyone the same subject or topic on the exact same day, and everyone is learning at the same pace. A traditional home setup looks very similar, as you would see in a classroom. Instead of the teacher, parent being the child's boss, where they are making all of the decision and doing everything for the child, which unfortunately, we are seeing more and more often these days. This would look like the parents are making all the decisions, doing a lot of the things for the children that perhaps they could be doing for themselves. Things in a Montessori environment are a lot different. In a Montessori approach, we see the child as a person on their own unique path. We support them as their guide and leader. They aren't something to be molded into what we see as their potential, or to make up for our own experiences or unfulfilled desires as a child. As a gardener, we plant seeds, provide the right conditions, and give enough food, water, and light. We observe the seeds and adjust our care if needed. And we let them grow. This is how we can parent our children, too. This is the Montessori way. We are planting the seeds that are our toddlers, providing the right conditions for them, adjusting when needed, and watching them grow. The direction their lives take will be of their own making. The Montessori approach relies on three interconnected elements: the child, the adult, and the environment. Maria Montessori emphasized the importance of the environment. It needs to be appropriately organized to meet the child's ability and desire to explore the world around them from birth. There's an interaction between the child, the adult, and the environment at all times, and the child is in charge of their own learning, supported by the environment and the adult. In a Montessori environment, the parent takes on the role of an encouraging guide, and they give their children time and space to make discoveries, to learn through their play, to gain independence, and to learn how to participate in your daily life activities, which, in a Montessori environment, are referred to as practical life activities. We will be talking about setting up Montessori at home, and many more interesting things in Chapter 2 of our series Parenting the Montessori Way. If you liked today's video, then please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you are new to my channel, I want to remind you that this video is part of a much larger series called Parenting the Montessori Way, which is aimed at providing practical tips and advice for implementing Montessori philosophy at home with your children. If you're interested in learning more, then you might consider subscribing to my channel. This way you won't miss new videos. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Happy parenting!